Have you ever thought about why we wake up quickly in the middle of the night? This event, which many of us have seen or experienced, might seem like a simple wake-up call, but what if it has a deeper and more spiritual meaning? Why do we get up at 3 a.m.? What makes this hour special is that it is a time that many cultures and spiritual views hold great importance. In traditional Chinese medicine, this hour is linked to the liver's peak energy flow, which means it's a time for renewal and cleansing the inside. What does this waking mean on a mental level? A lot of people think that waking up at this time means that God is trying to talk to us. Psalm 119:148 says, "My eyes look forward to the night watches to think about your words." That means that these hours can be seen as a sacred chance to think and connect with God. People have had different ideas about these awakenings at night over the years, but one thing that has stayed the same is that they are holy. Many religions see these hours as a way to reach a higher state of awareness, a time when there isn't much between the physical and the soul. Even though they are scary, these awakenings can be signs that we need to pay more attention to our inner lives and the messages the world is trying to give us. This idea is not just one view. It is interpreted in the same way by many religions and spiritual practices around the world. Also, sleep experts and psychologists know that these times can mirror our fears or unsolved issues, projecting them onto our awareness in the form of waking up early. After reading this, it is important to not only go back to sleep, but maybe also use that time to think or pray, as the texts say. So what can we do to make the most of those wake-up calls? Before going to bed, it's important to make sure you have a relaxing setting by reducing interruptions and other outside factors. But when we wake up in those holy moments, we don't have to fight being awake. Instead, we can use the time to think about our lives, our plans, and our faith. Small habits like meditating, reading spiritual books, or even just paying attention to our dreams and thoughts at that time can make our daily and nighttime lives better and help us learn more about ourselves and the spiritual world around us. So, the next time you wake up early in the morning, don't just think of it as a coincidence. See it as a chance to have a deep conversation with God. Do you think it would be a good idea to use those times to connect with yourself and think about what they are trying to tell you? Also, if you think that waking up at night can be a sign of a greater understanding, make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell to follow our spiritual journey. Come with us as we look into those holy times. Also, if you want to help with this job, please leave a super thanks. We can keep telling more Bible stories and spreading this message of faith and hope thanks to your donation. Thank you so much for your help. As the story of this amazing event is told again, many people think that a quick wake up in the middle of the night is just a problem with their sleep. That said, that break can be a way to see something more important, a call to a greater connection with our faith. This verse from Mark 6:31 tells us that we need to find times of rest and quiet to not only recharge physically, but also to think about our spiritual lives. Even though these awakenings are always linked to worry or anxiety, they give us a unique chance to think about our lives and get back in line with our higher goals. We don't have to give up when we're angry. Instead, we can see those times as chances to be thankful and connect with God. We can find comfort, direction, and a new sense of purpose if we let these breaks happen with an open heart. Those times can also be seen as calls to have a direct relationship with God. This changes what we thought was an annoying interruption into a hidden gift. When we accept these awakenings, we not only become more resilient in the face of daily difficulties, but we also strengthen our spiritual link by becoming more in tune with the Spirit's gentle urges. When we think about the spiritual meaning of these awakenings at 3 a.m., we can find examples in many faiths that stress how important this time is. This moment is more than just a routine event. It's a holy meeting place where, so the belief goes, the wall between the human and divine becomes smaller, making it easier to talk to the Spirit. People believe that this hour, which is the quietest of the night, is the start of rebirth and spiritual awakening. It's a strong symbol because it's linked to the Holy Trinity and how body, mind, and spirit are all one. This link to space and time with the universe at this time may mean that you are more sensitive to cosmic forces and the universe's rhythms. One more thing is that people often think that getting up at 3 in the morning is a bad thing, which goes against the idea that it can be a blessing. This point of view comes from the fact that our soul is more open to divine direction and knowledge at those times. In Matthew 14:25, Jesus walks on the water during the 4th watch of the night, which adds to this point of view. It shows that even when things look the darkest, we are not alone. His presence gives us peace of mind that we can always get help and direction from God. When you think about these ideas, you can see awakenings at night in a new way. They are more than just interruptions. They can be seen as chances to think and grow spiritually. This knowledge makes us want to use those times for prayer, meditation, and deep thought, which makes it possible for a stronger connection with God. This means that when those awakenings happen, we can choose to see them as chances to grow in our faith, learn more about our spiritual paths, and answer those calls with courage and hope. In this way, we turn something that could be seen as a problem into a positive experience that lifts us up and brings us closer to the universe's natural rhythms and the spiritual connection that those times can offer. In the end, those wake-up calls at night are more than just bothersome. In fact, they are a call to a deep and life-changing meeting with God and ourselves. From this point of view, every awakening is a holy moment that calls us to a higher level of awareness and harmony. It's a chance to dig deeper into our faith and improve our link with the divine. We learn that waking up at night and thinking about its spiritual meanings helps us understand that these times are more than just waking up from sleep. Like how Nikola Tesla got to his groundbreaking scientific ideas, they can be doors to deep discoveries and divine direction. In the same way that Tesla could hear frequencies that other people couldn't, waking up at 3 a.m. may mean that we are in tune with higher psychic energies. These times of peace and quiet can lead to progress in both the spiritual and technological worlds. Dreams and intuitions that get stronger during those times can reveal things that you wouldn't see during the day because of all the noise. So each awakening is a new chance to receive spiritual lessons and advice that can have a huge impact on our lives. Also, waking up at this particular time says that our energy has changed in a way that makes us more open and responsive to receiving. That energy isn't used up by working hard, but it's put to better use by improving our ability to see and be open to the ideas that come up in those quiet times. Having a pen and paper close by to write down those newly awakened perceptions can be helpful because it lets us record messages that are deep and personal. When these awakenings happen, they make us think about a bigger picture. The fight between good and evil happens in more than one world, including the spiritual one. The mental war goes on even when the body is resting, and the night is best for the dark forces to do their secret work. This information gives us the tools to understand that our awakenings can be a call to join the fight, using our newfound energy to increase our inner light and fight the darkness. As we encourage people to explore this perfect time for spiritual connection, we want everyone to understand how valuable these awakenings are as chances to gain knowledge and understanding. In the same way that Tesla's connection with the unknown led him to new ideas, we can use those times to connect with the holy and get motivation and guidance for our lives. It is important to use the extra energy to take in and understand what is going on right now. Paying attention to thoughts that keep coming back to us or signs that show up at those times can help us on our spiritual path and in our personal growth. Realizing that these times are actually blessings can change our lives and help us learn more about the spiritual world and our relationship with God. When we think about the links between Tesla's inventions and our spiritual awakenings, we can see that both are times for discovery. and change. This comparison helps us understand that those awakenings at night are signs that we are in touch with special spiritual and energy aspects. This means that every time our sleep is broken, it's a chance to grow in our faith, learn more about our beliefs, and feel closer to the world. Because of this, we can change how we feel about these awakenings at night by seeing them not as interruptions, but as chances to have a deeper and more important conversation. These quiet times give us a chance to connect with God and get spiritual advice and motivation that can change every part of our lives. When we understand this, awakenings at 3 in the morning aren't just random events. They're holy times that have been picked to give us a deep link to the spiritual. From this point of view, each awakening is a chance to learn, grow, and change, which gives us a higher awareness and a better sense of what our life is all about. People often think of waking up at night as just being woken up, but they can actually be spiritual messages to wake up more deeply and get ready to fight the evil forces that work in the dark. The Bible tells us to pray and intercede at 3 in the morning, which goes against the idea that bad things happen at that time. Ephesians 6:12 says this. This verse tells us that our fight is not against physical things, but against bad spirits and forces in the higher realms. The fact that God wakes us up is not a sign of punishment, but a call to be alert. These breaks are divine plans that give us the tools to stop the enemy's plans and improve our spiritual connection. There are times like these when you can fight spiritual battles by using prayer as a strong weapon to bring order and peace. So, those awakenings are not just random events, they are clear calls to action. We are called to be guards of the night, to fight and pray in the spiritual world, to get through hard times, and to defend good against evil. So when those awakenings happen, we should see them as chances to improve our spiritual armor, connect with God more deeply, and ask for His direction. Even though it may be tempting to go back to sleep when we wake up in the middle of the night, those times are opportunities to think, pray, and act, which helps us win the spiritual battle on a personal and a group level. It is very important to pay attention to those times and hear anything that God might be trying to say to us. We shouldn't let the comfort of staying in bed stop us from following divine advice that can be very important for our spiritual growth and safety. Many people may wonder why God would choose the night to talk to us instead of the day. God can motivate us at any time, but during the day, things that are going on around us keep us from hearing His words and seeing the spiritual dangers that are all around us. During the quiet hours of the night, God can help us see things more clearly and understand the truth more fully. Finding out how some times of holy presence during the night have changed, you can be a surprise. A single hour of prayer at night can be much more powerful than many prayers spread out during the day. It's not an accident that Jesus decided to spend the nights praying, as Luke 6:12 says. He knew how powerful it was to be with the Father early in the morning. When we understand this, we value each rising at night more deeply, not just as a bother, but as a spiritual call to a closer and stronger relationship with God. Each break in our routines gives us a chance to grow in our faith, get mentally stronger, and join the fight against those who want to upset the world's spiritual and moral balance. So we want everyone to understand that these awakenings are not separate events, but rather part of a larger call to spiritual resolve and awareness. We can build a spiritual fortress that not only saves us, but also shines light and truth into a dark world tomorrow by praying, meditating, and thinking during these holy times. So, the next time you wake up at dawn, remember that it could be a time when God has decided to reveal something important, strengthen your spiritual path, and give you a new spiritual viewpoint to face the problems of the next day. Take those times as valuable gifts that can make your spirit stronger and your link to the holy deeper. When we give the time we have awake at night to God, we not only pray, but we also make a holy space where we can hear His words. These times give us a chance to talk about our worries, fears, hopes, and thanks. Philippians 4:7 says that we should look for the strength, direction, and peace that go beyond our knowledge. People who want to connect with the Creator of the world must go to that holy place. He is always watching and ready to talk to those who seek Him. It's possible that being awake in the middle of the night means that God wants to talk to us about something important that needs our full attention and thought. But there are times when the night's silence makes the inner voice louder and easier to hear. In some cultures, the early hours of the morning are also seen as a good time to clean up spiritually. People think that the day's ideas, feelings, and bad events can be processed and let go of more easily, starting a circle of spiritual cleansing and healing. Traditional Chinese medicine says that this cleansing doesn't just happen on a mental level, but also on a physical and emotional level. In traditional Chinese medicine, each body part and organ is linked to a certain time of the day. For example, the lungs and the lung axis are linked to the time between 3 and 5 in the morning. Getting up at this time can mean more than just breathing problems. It can also be a sign of our vital energy, immune system, and mental health. Getting up at this time could mean that your body is having problems, like clogged lungs, breathing problems, or even problems with not having enough energy. During this time, it is suggested to take steps to improve the air quality, like opening windows to let in fresh air, or using a fan to keep the air smooth for breathing. According to what traditional Chinese medicine teaches, these changes to the physical surroundings can help bring the body, mind, and spirit into balance. In addition, these times of waking are seen as chances to bring our physical, mental, and emotional selves back into balance with the flow of universal energy. That means when we wake up, we have the chance to align our energies with the energies of the universe. This can help our health and well-being in general. We don't have to see these awakenings as annoying breaks or signs of health problems. Instead, we can see them as chances to learn more about ourselves and get back in touch with our greater purposes. Every waking is a chance to look at not only our physical health, but also our mental and spiritual needs in order to find more balance between our body, mind, and spirit. From this point of view, those quiet times at night should be turned into times of serious reflection and spiritual connection, where we can talk to God and get advice for our lives. We can find answers to the problems we face every day, grow stronger in our faith, and get a new boost of energy that makes us better prepared for the day ahead through this contact. Our spiritual journey can be made better, and our physical and emotional health can get better if we do this exercise daily. When you wake up, you have a chance to learn, grow, and get closer to God by using the lessons and insights that the night's silence can give you. As we explore the secrets of nocturnal awakenings, we know that each one is a spiritual call to improve our awareness and make our spirits stronger. We take big steps toward peace, well-being, and meaning when we welcome those moments. Meditation, aware breathing, reflective writing, and prayer are all great spiritual practices to do in the early morning before dawn. These practices help our goals come true and allow us to co-create with the divine. Starting the day with prayer and meditation not only brings peace and spiritual direction, but it also fits with Matthew 6:33, which says that we should put our spiritual life first. This encourages us to seek the divine kingdom and its righteousness, and promises that all the other things we need for life will come to us as well. Writing in a gratitude book is a powerful practice because it helps us value and be thankful for the little things in our lives, which makes us more aware of God's presence all the time. This practice helps us see more of God's kindness by teaching us to value every moment and every little gift. People believe that dreams are signs from the divine. If you pay attention to them when you wake up, they can give you subtle spiritual guidance by giving you insights, warnings, or stimuli that you might not have noticed otherwise. Acts 2:17. It tells us about a time when predictions and dreams came true, showing how the divine talks through the sublime. Taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of creation at dawn is a practice that brings people together. It can also be used as a time for prayer and thought, as the peace and quiet of nature can inspire and renew us. This exercise helps us connect with God and see the world around us as a work of heavenly art. Lastly, love and service to others are the real ways that faith shows itself. Being kind and helping can make a big difference in the lives of those around us. It makes the lives of both the receiver and the giver richer, which is good for our spiritual journey. We accept each awakening as a chance to grow spiritually and think about ourselves. We open our hearts to divine guidance and the change that can happen. May each awakening be a celebration of how close we are to God and an invitation to go deep into our souls and live a life that shows God's love and light. As this series comes to a close, we want to thank you for being a part of our journey of learning and change. You should share this message and keep looking into the many spiritual ways if these words have touched you. We hope that this story has helped you find your way and given you a better understanding of spiritual awakenings. If this movie moved you, please share it with family and friends who may also be looking for a deeper relationship. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on alerts if you want to see more content that educates and changes you. Believe in God and keep your heart open as you go on your trip. Thank you for following us to the end of this incredible story. See you in the next video. May God be with you always. Amen.